Meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall, and if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Evan Acey, and I'm going to be your MC. I'm joined this evening by Penny and Rob Cork, who are going to be the dynamic duo, giving your interviewing host, and Alice Osborne is going to be the great presence behind the curtains as our show engineer. So tonight, we're going to have a great show. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. But the mission statement of Open Mic America is to support your local open mics. And it's our pleasure to present the more accomplished singer-songwriters who play at those events. Without gimmicks or frills, this is the beating heart of American music, the tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. So now let's introduce our performers. Tonight, opening up is going to be Neil Dell from Bedford, Massachusetts. We're going to follow that with Bet Paget from Raleigh, North Carolina. Bill Palmer is going to be here from Murray, Kentucky tonight. Steve Johnson from Oak Grove, Oregon, right in my neighborhood. Bruce Landy from Holden Beach, North Carolina. Gail Dreyfus from Mariposa, and she is also joined tonight by David Brudries. And we're going to have Hank Stone. He's from East Patchogue, North New York, and Michael Arthur from York, Pennsylvania. It's going to be a great night of live music. So, you can find links to the various performers' catalogs and their favorite open mics at the Open Mic America website and on this YouTube video. Our first guest tonight is going to be Neil Dell from Bedford, Massachusetts. And Dale's favorite open mic is One Broadway Collaborative. And so, Neil, what's in your heart? Welcome to Open Mic America. What would you like to express through song tonight?
I got a couple of songs. First one's about the oceans, what we need to do, or what we're doing with them, not to them. That we know what we're doing to them, but a lot of people don't know what's actually being done to help them. And another one's a Christmas carol, sort of a sneaky Christmas carol. I'll get there. Anyway, this is called Neptune's Call. John Todd grows living machines. He'll weave our future from his dreams. He takes our crud and makes it clean. He wants to save the ocean. When to native plants and hungry fish, pollution is a tasty dish. New alchemy has been his wish to make a better day. So rise up, you singing whales, silver herring, flash your scales. They wave their fins and slap their tails for the ones who'll save the ocean. Von Herzen's crew is there to help. Your growing nets of waving kelp, home to fish and sea lion whelp. They want to save the ocean. When global warming stops the flow, they're bringing water from below to help all ocean life to grow and not just fade away. So rise up, you singing whales, silver herring, flash your scales. They wave their fins, flap their tails for the ones who'll save the ocean. There's other men and women who are saving corals, mangroves too. We've got to do all we can do to help them save the ocean. A living ocean year to year pulls carbon from the atmosphere. A new horizon dawning clear. Let's set our course that way. So rise up, you singing whales, silver herring, flash your scales. They wave their fins and slap their tails for the ones who'll save the ocean.
All right. What a way to start. Yeah. Awesome.
So this is called The Carol of the Trees. Now, I just put it out just before Christmas, and this is about the last time this year I'll be able to play it with any credibility. But it's not really a Christmas song. It's about that pagan custom that all Christians have of bringing a tree indoors at this time of year, which is kind of weird when you think about it. It has nothing to do with Christianity. But it gives me an opening to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is native trees, not trees that come from Europe, like the Norway maple or God knows the palm tree in California. No, but these are the ones that actually belong here. So anyway, this is called Carol of the Trees. Each year we gather round a tree with gifts and lights and family. It seems to hold us in its love and joins us to a star above. Then look out at a native tree. They are our larger family. Their branch above and root below connect with all the life we know. So set a star on your pinyon pine, wrap lights on your live oak, make it shine. Those gnarled old branches, twisted true, nature still remembers you. Our cities are the hardest place, with concrete closing on every space. But the dirt still lives under us all. Just find one place, however small. A tree you plant will start a song, and birds and bugs will sing along. When you plant a native tree, God will sing a symphony. So set a star on your pinyon pine, wrap lights on your live oak, make it shine. Those gnarled old branches, twisted true, nature still remembers you. Northwest has its redwoods tall, New England maples red in fall, Southern live oaks spreading calm, and Florida her graceful palm. Their roots connect under our land, through mountain pass and forest stand. All human races, proud and free, can grow with them in harmony. So set a star on your pinyon pine, wrap lights on your live oak, make it shine. Those gnarled old branches, twisted true, nature still remembers you.
All right. Wow. What a wonderful tribute to the native trees. Thank you for that, Neil. So let's let Penny and Rob find out what Neil's up to these days.
Hi, Neil. Thank you
Hi,
for
Penny.
those two beautiful songs.
Thank you.
Wonderful way to introduce nature and native trees, and what an awesome non-traditional Christmas song. And I think you can sing it anytime you want.
Well, the trees around here in the Northeast don't look like a lot right now, so it would certainly be more interesting in the summer.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think Rob's going to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah. First, I got to put up a shot for the Douglas fir. That's kind of our big one up here. So
Where's up here?
Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon. Well, I said the Northwest has its redwoods, but I could say well, I wasn't sure. I didn't interview anyone. So you think the Douglas fir is more?
Yeah, well, that's really north, but still a beautiful thing. I love the redwoods.
Well, the Douglas fir is the state tree in Oregon, so
There you
I'm
go.
familiar with it. That and the ponderosa make up pretty much a lot of the forest up there, and the larch. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really appreciate somebody who is an unrepentant environmentalist who's got that gentle vibe. So much of it seems to be confrontational and that kind of thing. You seem to have a very loving energy about the whole thing. Which leads a person to ask, what's your inspiration? Looking at your website, the big question is, who is the Earth? I don't know if you want to dig into that.
I was raised actually, and then trained as a scientist and a geologist. And I've spent the last 50 years getting out of that mindset. There's something profoundly attacking about the analytical mindset, and it leads one away from the emotions of inclusion. And as I've come to it, I understand now that the earth itself is alive. It's not just, it's all alive, it's all connected. No, it's actually a living being. And everything from microbes, individual microbes, all the way up, a living being means it makes decisions. It makes decisions about what it wants to eat, what it doesn't want to eat, where it's going, what it's doing. And the earth makes decisions. Native Americans have been screaming at us for hundreds of years about this. They're really screaming now because they think we don't get it. So for me, that's what I've become emotional about, because it's about cooperation. It's a profoundly inclusive idea.
that is really a lovely concept, and it's not shrill and it's not confrontational. I think that makes it appealing, and if you can get people to listen, that's how people learn. So it's wonderful.
Absolutely. I realized even in college that nobody listens to somebody else who's trying to convince them of something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then on your website, Who is the Earth, you have a lot of videos, and I'm wondering, are you also the artist who created the imagery for those videos?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been, most of my life, I've been a visual artist. It was only when I really wanted to become effective in talking about this idea that I started to even learn the guitar. So that was about 10 years ago. So I've been writing songs since. I wrote songs before it a little bit, but I couldn't play an instrument. I'm not that great now, but anyway, I get it done. And
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
but before that, most of the time I was a sculptor and an artist. I mean, right.
Well,
So
just from a musical standpoint, the melodies and the words are really good. They
thank you,
definitely work and they
thank
touch
you.
my heart. So we're glad to be part of your world today.
That's
That's
great.
for darn sure.
Yeah. So
Thank you
Neil,
for listening. It's really
oh,
wonderful.
absolutely. Love to have you come back to Open Mic America, and we're going to throw this all back to Evan so he can introduce the
Okay.
next performer. Thank you so much, Neil.
Well, that was really great. Rob and I are science-minded theists as well. And so, really just really great to meet you, Neil.
That
Thank
takes
you for
real
sharing
work,
what
but
you shared.
it takes real work to be a science-minded theist, but it's really worth it.
Right? Absolutely. We get that. All right. Thank you so much for your performance. And so now our next performer is going to be Bet Paget. And Bet is from Raleigh, North Carolina. Bet's favorite open mic is a Unitarian Universalist collective, although it's been a while since they've been gathering together. They're back, and Bet is still enjoying such a beautiful studio as she has. And it's a real privilege to have you back on the Open Mic America stage, Bet. What is in your heart tonight that you would like to share through song?
Um, well, first I'm going to do an old song, something that I had hoped that after the election in 2016 things would sort of straighten out, but they haven't. And it's a song about our hesitation to dig and do research ourselves to form opinions, and we're too quick to believe the propaganda and the rhetoric that is thrown our way. And this is told through a story, a true story, called Too Much Trouble. On this old mountain road, by the edge of the woods, there are trees that lie dying in the creek. They were cut by some rogues who then stripped them of their bark. The thieves worked in the quiet dark. What kind of men are these that would rob life from a tree? Why don't they work a job with honor and pay? It's too much trouble, someone said. They'd rather steal instead. In my world, that's just not okay. There's a house on the mountaintop where the road winds and stops, and a man lives alone there with his dog. His family moved away, and he doesn't want to stay. His trusted pet he'll have to leave behind. I heard that he had tried many times but could not find a home where she'd be safe and she could roam. She's too much trouble, I heard he said. He put a bullet to her head. In my world, this is so very wrong. I'm the sorriest of these, 'cause I didn't check to see if their stories were false or if they're true. It was too much trouble, so instead I believed what others said. I must live with what I didn't do. And I regret it, 'cause that's just not okay.
Oh, wow, wow.
Banjo sounds really
Wow
good.
is, and wow is exactly what I was thinking. You just got to leave that at a wow. That's very, very poignant. Well written, Bet.
Thank you. This is a new song. Actually, it's the last song that I wrote, and I guess, my last 2 or 3 songs have sort of been written from the perspective of a child. And this is a song that's written, from the perspective of a child. And upon initial listening, you might think that it is a sad song, but it isn't. It's not a sad song. It's a song about human nature and compassion. And primarily, it's about what do we say to someone who is going through a really, really, really tough time, a really, really hard situation. It's something that I think we all struggle with, no matter how old or how young we are. This is called The First Day of School After Summer Vacation. First day of school after summer vacation, I saw all my friends, their bright happy faces, new clothes and new shoes, book bags and erasers. I couldn't wait for our first assignment to tell what we did for our summer excitement. I told of camper rode horses and shot bows and arrows. Julie went next, she went to Europe, she flew in a plane. Her family worshipped in cathedrals I thought were only pictures. Eddie was third, he went on a cruise to some far-off land whose name I confused with a neighbor of mine, whose name is Dennis. I looked around the room at all my classmates. Their eyes opened wide, their faces were green with envy. Tommy was next, his dad died in August. He cries all the time, he says that it's awful. His brother works night and his mother works double. She says they'll adjust, but now it's a struggle. He misses his dad, his mom and his brother. He's lonely at night when his family's not at home. I looked around the room at all my classmates. Their eyes opened wide, but no one was green with envy. I wanted to ask, what can I do? I wanted to say I'm sorry for you. What do you say to someone who's seen such trouble? I opened my mouth, but nothing came out but mumbles. The year passed by quickly, I finally got courage to go up to Tommy. I was so worried the words that I'd say wouldn't come out right. I said I was sorry what happened last summer. I hope things get better for you and your brother. He stared right through me and looked into space. And I thought, what wrong did I do? Then he smiled and softly said, thank you. That wasn't so hard, and I wondered what I had feared. I learned more that day than I did the whole school year. That was the last day of school before summer vacation. Next year I'll be 10. I won't mind waiting to take my turn to tell what I did in the summer. on the first day of school after summer vacation.
Oh, wonderful.
It is an honor to give you a global platform to sing such beautiful music.
Thank you. Well, it's about people, and that's what we all are. Thank you.
Hi, Bet.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. So beautiful and heartfelt. Uh, Tell me a little bit about what's going on with you as far as performances, maybe a favorite performance that you've had.
Okay. Um, well, right now, yeah, I'm not going out in public quite yet. I had lined up some gigs, and then this big new wave came through. So I've got some lined up. Hopefully, we'll be able to continue unless this big wave doesn't go away. I've been doing a lot of virtual performances on various platforms and organizations that produce virtual shows. And just recently I started doing about 25, 30 minutes on Facebook on Wednesday mornings at 11 o'clock. I call it Wednesday morning brunch with me and my dog Moss. He comes out here sometimes and he does tricks. So that's kind of fun, and so it's fun way to see some friends who drop in and make requests, which is great because it makes me go back and review some songs, a lot of songs that I haven't played in like 25 or 30 years, and that's been good. My favorite performance, in 1997, I wrote a song about Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, and that's a very long story in itself, so I won't go into it. But it's such a wonderful experience because in order to do that, I had to do a lot of research. And in 1999, the government awarded enough money to relocate the lighthouse, which was in danger by being swallowed up by the ocean, and that's why I wrote the song to begin with. And at that time, I was encouraged by a lot of people, the National Park Service and the North Carolina Arts Council, to write an entire CD about the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. So I did. And so after the lighthouse was moved, they had a relighting ceremony, and I was asked to sing at the relighting ceremony. So here I was standing in front of the lighthouse on a stage which was actually an open bed trailer. And as I was singing a song about the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, that's when the light came on.
Wow.
And I get goosebumps, whenever I think of that experience. So that's probably my most favorite performance ever.
Oh, wonderful.
I want to ask just a quick question before I absolutely forget. So I know Evan and I are both the kind of people that with the right song, we'll bawl like little children. How difficult is it for you to get through that second song without actually getting choked up?
There are a few songs that I've written that I actually do shed tears, and I have a hard time with that one. I do, and like I say, it's not a sad song. It could be a real experience that really happened to somebody, and I have friends that are going through hard times, and I just want to cry with them. It's not that I guess I am sad, and I know this little girl was sad for her friend. But it is that human experience, a lot of people really don't know what to say, and when she just comes out and says, "I'm sorry," and that really moved him, and that's all we need to say. Just those two little words is, "I'm sorry," and that's just enough. So
And then, Beth, did that song come from a personal experience or an experience of a child that you know?
no, I do have some friends who are going through some really tough times right now, and the title came to me long before anything else did. There was a song prompt at one of the songwriter circles that I go to, and the prompt was what I did on summer vacation. And so that just was rolling around in my head for months, and then I started noodling with that song, and just it came to me, what I did on summer vacation, and how kids, when they go back to school at the very beginning of school and they want to tell everybody about everything that they did and gloat and show off about it, and so that's what all these kids were doing, and then poor little Tommy comes in and tells what happened to him, and it's like, oh, everybody's heart sinks at that moment.
Well, my heart sank when you sang that. So
Well, I hope that you, if you ever have to say anything to somebody who's going through a hard time, just say, I'm sorry for all that you're going through. That's all we need to say.
absolutely.
So, thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
No, very, very beautiful. Very, very touching.
Thank you.
And Evan, if you're ready.
Yeah, it did actually take me a minute or two to compose myself after that, because we're touchy-feely people, probably all of us here, and we get that. That was really beautiful. I appreciate that that you shared that tonight, Bet. Thank you so much. So now on the Open Mic America stage, we have Bill Palmer, and Bill is coming from Murray, Kentucky. And one of his favorite local open mics is at Johnson Bar in Paducah, Kentucky. He's actually got two other places he really likes a lot. The Willamette Ale and Cider House and a few other.
No, that's not mine, though.
Wait. Bill, Johnson Bar, Paducah. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Oh, yeah, you're right. That would be Steve who's next. You're right. Thank you for keeping me on that. It's the silverfish. They throw me off since we had that talk.
You're not supposed to have silverfish, but I have them.
Yeah, well, we just want to welcome you to the Open Mic America stage. And my question for you is, what do you have in your heart that you would like to share through song this evening?
Well, it's a couple of songs that sort of formed the same, all these people here are songwriters, so they've been through this probably more than I have, but these both kind of started the same way. They came out of, in the process of just playing during the day or whatever, little tunes come out, they start forming and they start growing. And both of these sort of did the same thing. It's like they're both finger picking, they're both kind of old timey. And this first one, I'd never played it in anywhere. And then one day I said, well, I think this is a song. And so I sat down and it's literally this song sort of started telling me a story. I always wanted to be a story writer. It never quite worked out that way. And in about an hour and a half, I had a story to go with this song. And it's changed, like unusually, it's only changed like a few words since that first hour and a half or so. So this is one of those spooky songs that the lyrics come out. And I was fascinated as it was coming out because I didn't know it was coming out. It was like, I remember when I used to write short stories, it's like you didn't know where they were going to go. And this happens and that happens. And that's kind of how this one worked out. So. Yeah, and the other one's similar, but not so much of a story, but more of just a question, I guess. So, shall I get to it here? I have to.
Absolutely.
I don't have a good memory for this kind of thing. So I can't see you, but I'm assuming everything's good to go here. This end up being called I'm Going Away. I'm going away for a real long time. I wish that you could come along too. Well, I'm going away for a real long time. It's the only thing left for me to do. Well, I've been working that cotton, baby, most of my life. I know you expect to be my wife. Well, I just sucked old Boss Joe, I punched him in the eye, and now I'm on the run. 'Cause old Joe, well, he may die. Kansas, baby, they're picking in the fall. Riding on that big freight train, asleep against the wall. The clicking of the tracks is swimming in my sleep. I see you in your party dress, and I'm trying not to weep. Yes, I'm gonna wait for a real long time. I wish that you could come along too. Yes, I'm gonna wait for a real long time. Well, I may be going to prison, baby, if they catch me on the line. On a real good night, I'll just be sleeping in the pines, dreaming of your kisses, sweet as pecan pie. Yes, I'm gonna wait for a real long time. I wish that you could come along too. Yes, I'm gonna wait for a real long time. The only thing left for us to do is to dream and to know that I'm with you.
Sweet. Very sweet.
So yeah, it was interesting to find out whether that was going to happen there. Let's see, I have this other one is called What to Do on a Sunday Afternoon. It started in a similar way. I was playing it on there's an open mic in the San Jose area that I play on, the Panned Open Mic. And I played it as an instrumental, and when I was playing it, I was saying, I think that there's words coming to this, but I don't know. And the instrumental sounded okay. And then Mike Simpson, who some of you may have noticed, he said, well, you ought to do, because it had a title, which at that time was What to Do on a Sunday Afternoon. Now it's called Life on the River. So. What you gonna do on a Sunday afternoon? Or what you gonna do when the skies are blue and you don't know what to do? Or what you gonna do on a Sunday afternoon? But sit by the river and look at the sky and watch all the water go by. Well, what you gonna do on a Sunday afternoon? Well, what you gonna do when they finally take you away? Well, what you gonna do on a Sunday afternoon? But close my eyes and look at that sky and watch all the water go by. 'Cause I don't worry about what I'm gonna see. When I find my way home, that's where I'm gonna be. gonna do on a Sunday afternoon? What you gonna do when the skies are gray and that rain might wash you away? What you gonna do on a Sunday afternoon? I'm gonna sit by the river and look at that sky and watch all the water go by.
Wow. Well, we're glad that you decided to hang out at Open Mic America this Sunday afternoon. That's a
I'm glad you liked it. I can't see anybody because I can't. Oh, there's that little. I'm not used to that. There we go. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Hi there, Bill.
Hi.
Those are two really great songs for a Sunday afternoon. Rob and I were just imagining being on a raft or sipping a cool
Yeah.
beverage.
Exactly.
And Evan kind of stole our bit too. We're going to say,
Yeah.
what you want to do on a Sunday afternoon is tune in to Open Mic America.
There you had today.
Yeah. So this is your first time on Open Mic America, correct?
It is. It is. Yeah. Maiden
Well
voyage.
done.
Yes.
Awesome. So, hey, tell us a little bit about how long you've been playing, how long you've been writing music.
Well, let's see. I kind of grew up in a house with a piano, so in about my early 20s, I took piano lessons as a small child. Okay, I'll put that, you know how that goes. So in my 20s, I kind of started learning improvisational piano by ear, and I never played guitar. And then around 2000, I took guitar lessons for a couple of years, and then quit for 10 years. And one day we were, some friends of mine who I think are listening tonight, we were at their house, and some music friends of mine, Mila and Kelly, came over, and they literally stuffed the guitar in my hand because they knew I used to play. And they said, well, let's jam. And I go, I remember the C chord and the D chord, and that's all. You know? And so, but ever since they stuck that guitar in my hand, I haven't been able to get it out. And so that was about 5 years ago. And so I started playing guitar again, and I wanted to learn how to flat pick, which I didn't do any of that today. But so I got better at flat picking, and then I didn't know that I could sing, and then so I started singing, and then all of a sudden I could walk and chew gum at the same time. So that started working out better. So, but short
And then
history.
writing your own songs. You said that you wanted to be a writer.
Yeah, a crazy thought. I guess I did have the thought one time I'd like to, play guitar and sing songs, but I never considered that was actually something that I would ever do. But I did like to write short stories, and I could turn a phrase. I guess I like to write poetry. So when I did start writing songs, kind of hidden in there was that little bit of a tool set that I'd used when I was, in my 20s, writing poetry and stuff like that. So I was an engineer for about 30 years in between, where I turned all that stuff off and didn't do any of that.
Seems to be a lot of engineers get into music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, not a lot, but probably 20-30% of the engineers I knew probably were musicians. Some of them really, really good ones, scary good. One guy I knew was just amazing. Yeah.
And then where do you find your inspiration? What
That's a hard. Yeah, when you find that out, let me know. I don't know. It's just a lot of times traveling, going places I seem to write a lot of songs if I go somewhere. It's not unusual to come away with at least a song or a seed for a song or something like that. And then I guess I don't remember lyrics very well, but like music sounds stick in my head pretty well. So if I start noodling on the guitar, then and it's kind of good because it's a chaotic jumble up there, and so it comes out chaotically, so I'm not stealing stuff. It's just like parts of everybody's stuff comes out. So instrumentally, I guess it kind of comes out that way. And then the lyrics, when you find out where those comes from, I'd like to know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that answer myself.
Yeah, you're not getting it from me.
No, I'm just sure glad you decided that was something to do, because you definitely have a unique voice, and I love your melodies and your songs, and hopefully, if you ever find yourself out west, hopefully we can hear you in person.
Well, I appreciate that. I really appreciate the opportunity to, I mean, you kind of already alluded to it. It's the ability to have somebody else hear what you're doing. So much of it, it's so easy to make music now. Not that it's easy to make music, but it's easy to produce and record music now. But getting that, we all kind of know this. It's getting that heard by somebody is difficult. So I super appreciate everybody playing in front of other musicians like this. What could be more frightening? What could be more fun? Right? What could be more inspiring than that? I mean, just listening to the people that have played before me right now, and it's just been tremendous. So I just, thank you very much.
Definitely. Well, Bill, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We love your songs. And
Thank you.
now Evan's going to introduce the next performer.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So our next performer is Steve Johnson, and Steve Johnson is coming right from my neck of the woods here in the northwest of Oregon, in Oak Grove, Oregon for sure. And so, Steve, I mentioned your favorite open mic with the last performer, but it does belong to you, the Willamette Ale and Cider House. And then also you do an online one called the Panned Open Mic, and I think is that close enough? Did I get in there?
No, that one's mine.
Wait a minute. Okay, see, that's what I thought. Okay, because that's what happens when Evan handwrites. When I'm in my own home studio, I've got all this stuff typed out, but when I handwrite, then, well, it's chaos. That's Evan's life. Welcome. But hey, Stephen, we're really glad that you're here to play tonight. And so what is in your heart that you would like to share through song tonight?
I don't know, a little bit of whimsy and a little bit of history. I'm going to start with the whimsy. It's a song that came up a few years ago. The title is Spooks Like Us. That's a little bit of whimsy. Are the details. In an airport line is where it happened. Something was dropped, we both reached in. That's when our little heads collided, more embarrassed than excited. And in a glance it began. Like in a movie, it was heads, there's no buts about it. She fixed her glasses, I fixed mine. We shared a burst of nervous laughter. She coughed, I sneezed. Suddenly we're both at ease. We both recognized each other. No need to hide it. We'd both seen each other's dossiers. Her code name is Ask Rabbit. She said, you're the multiplier. Why not have at it? It's a perk of the game. And so we started. When our lives were soon departed. Could be Jakarta, could be LA. A private affair in public places. Round dark corners, empty spaces. Into the crowd we drifted away. Aren't happy about it. They grimace and groan. We both think they should leave us alone. We do almost everything they ask us to do, except the one thing that would make us both blue. we're still together. A respite in stormy weather. Next time we meet, maybe Mumbai. A private affair in public places, round dark corners, empty spaces. Under the watchful, under the watchful, under the watchful eye.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Great song.
Good ones, Steve.
CIA all the way. That was cool, man. I love the line where something dropped right after your earbud dropped out of your ear. You can't time that stuff any better than that. That was cool.
Oh no. The next song is a song I got a prompt from an open mic. The word was psychedelic. And so I wrote a song called Psychedelphia. And January 14th, 1967, that's, 56 years ago, in San Francisco, Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, California, Golden Gate Park, there was an event called the Human Be-In. It was just before the Summer of Love. Big concert, poets out in Golden Gate Park. Just a few months after LSD was made illegal in California. I was there. I was a kid, about 15 years old, and it was an eye-opener for us. I was a parochial school teenager. We were in bands, and we just wanted to hear the music. And we got an eye and earful of a lot of stuff. Where'd all those people come from? Psychedelphia. Went to the park to hear the music play. What a surprise that we got that day. The Berry pranksters rolled up in their bus. Ken and Kesey's troop, very near to us, and they were stoned. Oh, solid stone. Yes, they were stoned. Read that book about a man, they were really stoned. Yeah,
captured in a song. Oh, wow, whole movement.
Hey,
Hey
man.
there, Stephen.
Hi ho.
Two super cool songs. Thank you.
Oh, thanks very much.
No,
Thanks.
you fit right in. I got two comments slash questions for you directly related to those two songs. The first one, and I jotted this down, is I, how much of a limb do you have to go out on to have Ask Rabbit, you are the multiplier as part of your rhyme scheme? Because that's fantastic. That's good stuff, man. I just was like,
I don't know. It just came out.
just how your brain works, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It was
beautiful.
it was a visual. Actually, there was the dossier during the Clinton Trump campaign versus each other, and I think that the word dossier just spilled into something, and I made something else out of it. Uh, I love spies and spy movies and things like that.
Nice.
Super cool. It's almost like, it kind of came to life in your head all by itself.
Yeah. Sometimes it just happens, It's got to be just right.
Totally.
Sometimes you go through a drought, and there's a lot of riffs on my phone, saved riffs, but it's coming up with that one time. It'll pop out. I'll go to the beach one day and something will come out, I guess.
Yeah, super cool song. I admire any brain that can put all that together. That's fantastic. Any reality that does that. And on the second song, just as kind of a feed into the question, is I grew up in the Bay Area in the '60s. I was born and raised in Palo Alto, so being a few years younger, all that behavior was normal to me. I grew up with looking at those people do all that stuff. I was by Stanford, and it was just like kind of what people did. At your age, it must have been a little bit of a revelation. I mean, how did you feel suddenly greeted with this out of the box stuff happening?
Well, our aim was toward beatniks, the beat generation. That was really cool. Listening to jazz, going to North Beach, and the scene there, and then all of a sudden, uh, people came from everywhere, and it was like we were going, where do these people come from? What's going on here? Haight Ashbury was a place to go buy your gym shoes, It's just a regular place. So it was kind of fascinating. Uh, it was a lot of fun, that's for sure. I learned a lot and got into music. There was a just big influence of music in town and in the area. It was fascinating.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Definitely.
you grew up in the city.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah.
And then you started playing music when you were a teenager then?
Yeah, teen bands and high school teen clubs,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. Y clubs,
Right.
high school rallies, and I just kept doing it. And went to move to bars, and it's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Keep having fun. I play as much as I can. It was nice here playing during the past summer because we had a lot of outdoor gigs in the
Definitely.
neighborhood in the Oak Grove area, and did that. And I got a library gig that I do
Ah,
for the local library, about
that's
once a
very
month,
cool.
So I'll just keep playing until we pass on, right?
Here you go, man. I feel the same
Yeah,
way.
what else you gonna do, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, your songs were fantastic. Super cool music, and thank you so much for sharing with us tonight.
Well, thanks very much. Thank you.
You're awesome, buddy.
Yeah,
Uh,
take care. Well,
Thank
let's
you all.
switch this back over to Evan and see what he's got up next.
So, Stephen, if you happen to be perusing the internet and you find Influence Music Hall, we're not too far away from you, and there's a lot of people that would like to hear what you're playing, and I'm sure you'd enjoy what others are playing. Penny and Rob are just like an amazing songwriting team themselves, and it's really great to be a part of the music scene here in Oregon. Another Open Mic America alum is actually enjoying us locally too. But moving right along, so now we have home tonight. There are our next guests, and that is Gail Dreyfus and David Bruderies, and you're in Mariposa, California. And so we're excited about what you're going to play tonight. The warm-ups really got us all like, oh boy, this is going to be great. America is going to be amazed at what they're going to hear now. And so welcome to the stage. Yeah, I know, no pressure. But anyway, it's really good. We're glad that you made it here tonight. And what do you have in your hearts that you would like to express through music? And by the way, I do have to mention that your favorite open mic is the Yosemite Songwriting Retreat, which you have some familiarity with. And so maybe you'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit later. But back to what's in your heart that you want to share through song tonight.
Well, it's interesting that you ask that, because the first song we're going to do is called Heart Storm. So
she's the heart, I'm the storm.
Right. So I think we should just go for it. And there's a lot of storming in California, and we'll start with this song, Heart Storm. Snow on black streets, white turns gray. Writing songs is writing you away. Too many times, and now I question why. There's a heart storm, and it's snowing inside. Gazing through memories, I've stood alone. I had faith in Cupid, a statue made of stone. Avoiding differences, hoping we were the same. There's a heart storm, and it's snowing today. Looking at couples, the love in their eyes. I never understood love, it took me by surprise. That ended in words or my physical demise. There's a heart storm, and it's snowing. Unfolds, a pattern reveals what I wanted to give. You did steal. It's cold outside and beautiful, cold outside, reflecting what you see. What did you see?
know.
Oh,
That's great.
that's the wow factor right there.
Well, Gail is the seasoned professional here and a great songwriter. And this next song we're going to do is one that she also wrote. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, I would say we're both seasoned, as you can tell by the
I'm
gray.
just old seasons.
So this next song is called My Boots.
My
What's it
boots
called?
are off.
My Boots Are Off. So I wrote the lyrics to this song, although David did a great job of helping me edit. So we're doing a lot of co-writing, which is really fun. And I wrote this song, and I wrote it in a minor key, and I was like, nah, this isn't working. So I handed it to David, and I said, think you can fix this? So this is what he did with My Boots Are Off. I like to think that we both wrote it.
All right, here we go. My boots are off. My boots are off, my dancing shoes on. It's time to stop and write this song. Sick of words, looking for clues. Where are you now? I wanna dance with you. You asked me to waltz and you took my hand, as if we were partners and we had a plan. Are you far away or in the next room? My mind is on fire with thoughts of you. You keep me guessing, spin me around. You keep me laughing, move to my town. Touch me deeply, right to the core. It's never been this way before. Were you watching when I wasn't aware? Are you challenged by my yes to your dare? I know how to touch you and I know where. So close your eyes and I'll take you there. You keep me guessing, spin me around. You keep me laughing, move to my town. But touch me deeply, right to the core. It's never felt this way before. Not before. Yeah, you keep me guessing, spin me around. Keep me laughing, move to my town. Touch me deeply, right to the core. It's never felt this way before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody give these folks a Broadway musical. I mean, oh my gosh, right?
That is funny. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Hi there, David and Gail. That was fantastic. I have to second what Evan said.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I really enjoyed you guys the last time you played. I don't remember whether it was playing or interviewing or just listening, but you guys are fantastic. If anything, you guys are better and more of a cohesive group than you were the first time around.
Well, we were only 3 months into it at that point, so we're just a couple of months later than that.
Right.
So we're still figuring a lot of stuff out and learning a lot from each other and with each other, and the co-writing has really been fun too.
Yeah.
Well, the guitar and the vocals and the keyboard, it's just such a lovely combination. You really complement each other, and you've only been playing together for just a few months then, correct?
Yeah, we're still pretty young at this together. Like I say, Gail's quite the seasoned professional, been doing this for a long time. And I've always been behind the scenes. I'm actually a theatrical sound designer by trade, so all my work is done behind the curtain. And so Gail has brought me out in front of the curtain.
I brought him out. He's out of the curtain now.
Well, I'm glad, Gail, I'm glad that you did that. That's awesome. So, hey, do y'all have any events coming up? Anything that you're really looking forward to?
Well, we have a couple of things coming up. We're actually playing a gig at the Grove House on the 20th. Grove House is in Mariposa here. It's a great little venue for music, food, and beer, wine, etc. Wonderful place to play. And I guess we're doing a party after that too.
We're doing a party, a private party, yep. But on what we're working hard on also is Yosemite Songwriting Retreat, which is in its 11th year. And since the pandemic, we did a lot of them virtual. So our last one in October was live, but we're going to continue with another virtual one in March 4th and 5th. And we have Sloan Wainwright and Michael McNevin joining us. So anybody can join us from everywhere. It's 2 days, March 4th and 5th. And it still creates a family, which is the mission of Yosemite Songwriting Retreat, to have a creative weekend with your new best friends and your old friends too. In fact, that's how Alice and I met, was Yosemite Songwriting Retreat. And then we do have a live retreat in Mariposa, actually at the Grove House on October 6th through 8th. And we're hiring instructors for that. Of course, Joe Craven always comes, so he's coming back, and we've got some irons in the fire.
Yeah.
And then also we're working on a CD, and I started working on that, and now pulled David in. This has been in the progress for 2 years, so that's coming up. But we really hope that we can continue to have our Yosemite Songwriting Retreat family grow. We also do every Wednesday night, we have an open mic on Zoom at 7 o'clock. Join us on Facebook to get that Zoom number, or contact me.
Oh, very cool.
Fantastic.
Very
Yeah.
cool. And then how long have you each been playing music, singing, writing songs?
Why don't you start?
Okay, well, I got my first guitar at Goodwill at age 13 and sat and wrote a song.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's just continued and continued. I've done a whole sort of career on kids' songs about nature and ecology. I live right outside of Yosemite, so I've done CDs for a bunch of national parks, and performed in national parks. So that's another sort of side. We're both educators, but I would have to say forever, which is why writing music's my passion, and that's how Yosemite Songwriting Retreat started 11 years ago.
Nice. And then David, for you?
I started playing piano pretty young. I had a really, I won't call it devastating, but difficult experience with a teacher who was incredibly, well, she really wanted me to play every single note, every bit of phrasing exactly. And if I didn't do that, she would hit me with a stick. It was a pretty wild environment, but it didn't turn me off from playing piano, but I did put it down for a long period of time. I picked up the guitar and played that for a while and did some folk things and some rock and roll in high school. And then once I did the college routine, all that kind of went away a little bit, and started working, as I mentioned, as a theatrical sound designer. But all the music that I made, typically not songs, but more environmental and what's considered a kind of abstract kind of music that I would do for my theater work. But when the pandemic came and Gail invited me to Yosemite Songwriting Retreat open mic, I put my big boy pants on and decided to play in front of people, and so been slowly working up some chops to be a better pianist, because I always had the crutch of the computer to edit anything I wanted to. It's really, really easy to sort of do things that way. Now I have to actually do it.
You're doing it very well.
I have one more thing, and this is an observation posed as a question. You guys, especially present in that first numbers, you guys really listen to one another, both instrumentally and with, since there's only one vocal on that part, but the voice, the piano, and the guitar were there was very much an interplay, and I've done this long enough to know that you don't get that way without listening to each other. Is this something that you guys find that you do naturally, which makes it easier for you to play together? Is this something that you've worked on, a little bit of both?
For me, I'll speak for my side. In both my teaching of doing this kind of work and of performing of it, intention is everything. So the idea of paying attention to what is the story you're trying to tell, what is it, how can I be a snowstorm in the back of this tune? And that was really the goal that I was going for it as a theatrical sound designer. That kind of thing actually comes very easily to me. And so I do listen very deeply. And you?
Well, I hope we listen to each other because we're in a relationship. So
You are?
yeah, and so this is another great avenue for us to relate is through our music, and I think there's a deep respect for each other's music and also our co-writing, as well as we like to pick songs that are positive and have a positive vibe for home tonight. So to me, it's really important to listen, and I hope I'm doing a good job of it. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
You are. You sure are.
Definitely,
Absolutely. And it's
definitely.
one of the things what makes it really magic.
Well, thank you both so much.
Thank
Loved
you.
the songs.
Really appreciate
Thanks.
Open Mic America for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. And all these performers.
Yeah,
Oh
fantastic.
my gosh.
Oh, it's like,
Yeah.
yes,
hmm
absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
And let's throw this back to Evan so we can introduce the next performer.
Okay, so quick question for Gail and David. So you were saying that we could reach out to you through Facebook, and so is that through the Yosemite Songwriting Retreat? Is that what we look up on Facebook?
Exactly. You sent me
Okay.
Songwriting.com.
I thought that. I just wanted to make sure to connect those dots.
Yep, and there's a Facebook page as well as the website itself.
Great. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Love the sound that you guys have, and Penny and Rob just asked the right questions. That was a great exchange. Thank you for sharing tonight on Open Mic America. Okay, so our next performer is going to be Hank Stone. Hank is no stranger to the Open Mic America stage. We're looking forward to hearing for what you have to play tonight for us. So you're in East Patchogue, New York. I know I was supposed to ask these things before the show, but yes, thank you. Patchogue, New York. And so your favorite open mic is the Hardwood Cafe, Hard Luck. And so you have got a lot of music in you. I need to step aside and let you show America what's in your heart to play tonight.
Sure. Well, I want to start off a song. I do believe I've shared this on a previous outing at Open Mic America. It goes out to the people of Ukraine. If you remember a video last year, shortly after the beginning of the war, there was a video of a woman confronting the Russian soldiers saying, "This is not your land, go home." And she was giving them packets of sunflower seeds and said, "Put them in your pocket so when you die, the sunflowers will grow." And, that was very confrontational, very brassy of her. So I thought about that for a few days, and I came up with this. But I looked up about sunflowers. We know that there are a great deal of sunflowers in Ukraine and other countries in Europe over there, and they're not native to Europe. They actually come from the American Midwest. They're the state flower of Kansas. And so I thought Kansas, Kiev, and then the songwriting, the alliteration, all came together. So I came up with this. It's called Sunflower Parade. I am sunflower, in light I believe, in peace and in power, from Kansas to Kiev. When you suffer and bleed, when you're under the gun, follow my lead. Turn your face to the sun, and I cast my seeds to the wind and to the birds. Democracy's deeds in Ukrainian words. The soldiers will yield, their bodies will fade, marching into the field in a sunflower parade, a sunflower parade. And I am sunflower, in light I believe, in peace and in power, from Kansas to Kiev. When you suffer and bleed, when you're under the gun, follow my lead. Turn your face to the sun, and I cast my seeds to the wind, to the birds. Democracy's deeds in Ukrainian words. The soldiers will yield, their bodies will fade, marching into the field in a sunflower parade, a sunflower parade. A sunflower parade.
Oh, yeah. Love that song.
Just started recording that last week. I've been working on some new tracks, and hopefully that's going to be on a compilation to benefit the children of Ukraine. I'll have more to say about that in a couple of weeks, hopefully. I'm going to do this song. It's called Temporary Sanity. And it's 3 separate songs, 3 separate stories in each verse. And the last one kind of takes a left turn, little ecological, well, you'll see when you get there. Temporary Sanity. Tommy took a walk down by the harbor. He came face to face with the morning sun. Passing people, walking dogs, and launching boats. Tommy tipped his hat to everyone, and they asked him, "Why do you feel so good today? Why do you feel so good today?" Temporary sanity is all he had to say. Temporary sanity is all he had to say. Well, next door to the bank, the gang was drilling. EDM concert upstairs masked the noise. Susie grabbed her phone, she dialed the sheriff. SWAT team came, they rounded up the boys, and they asked her, "Why did you blow the whistle now? Oh, Susie, why did you blow the whistle now?" Temporary sanity, it just felt right somehow. Temporary sanity, it just felt right somehow. Well, we've been burning fossil fuels forever. It ain't in the Bible, but surely it's a sin. We're gonna take a few million species with us when we go. We are carbon-based, but carbon's gonna drew us in. So tell me, when will we change our wasteful ways? When will we change our wasteful ways? Temporary sanity is bound to bring better days. Temporary sanity, bound to bring better days. Long overdue sanity, bound to bring better days.
Very fun.
Much.
Very fun. End point.
Hi there, Hank.
Hi.
That's tremendous, man. I enjoyed both of those songs immensely.
Yeah, we have heard the Sunflower Parade song before. It's really a beautiful, heartfelt song. Thank you for doing that one again. But temporary sanity, yeah. Where do you get that?
Where do any of these things come from? You know, you just start playing a few riffs and then tell a little story. Like stream of consciousness. I'm getting a lot more of that stuff. Well, I don't know where the song's going to end up. I just start with the words, and the story kind of tells itself. It's magical, you know.
Yeah. So in general, do you start with the words first, or?
I've gone both ways. You know, over the years, you know, been doing this so long. Sometimes you get the words first, and then what am I going to, you know, have the melody to. Other times I have a guitar figure I've been playing around with, like a vamp or something, a riff, and then just singing some la 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 words, and then I'm out walking the dog and I singing that riff and I get some words, and I say, let me run down and write that down, or I'll sing it into the phone, you know.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I know. Having a phone handy, isn't that a blessing?
I used to ride the subway and have a little notebook in my pocket, and I'd be scribbling, you know. It's a lot easier now.
Yeah. And how long have you been playing and writing music?
I've been playing since I was, you know, a little 8-year-old kid, before the Beatles even came on the scene, you know. And but I guess writing since I was about 18, you know, just trying to imitate everybody else that you like, you know, learning all the rock and roll hits and trying to be as good as that. And you know, I guess eventually, about 20 years ago, I came back out and started playing open mic scenes, and you know, it all leads to places like this. You know, you just keep meeting people, and they say you ought to play here, and why aren't you playing over there? And
Right.
it's great.
Perfect. So, hey, do you have anything new coming out that you're looking forward to? Recording, shows, anything like that?
Well, recording, I just started a couple of weeks ago recording a new album. This will be my 4th.
Oh, very
And
good.
hopefully this is with going to have some support from a local record company called Paradiddle Records. They've
Nice.
recorded a couple of local songwriters and groups, and they've had tribute albums to Bob Dylan and to a couple other people, the Kinks. They did, just they always do different projects, and they're going to also around the same time they're coming out with a tribute to Hank Williams. I'm going to be on that too, doing a Hank Williams song.
Nice.
So,
We
yeah,
have
there's a
the
lot of
perfect
stuff
name for
happening
it.
all of a sudden. I'm sorry.
I said you have the perfect name for it.
Yeah, Hank sings Hank, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And then you had mentioned at the beginning with the Sunflower Parade, there's a charity tie-in with that, or your
Yeah,
hopeful?
there's a woman who's been doing some kind of programs with helping children, refugees from Ukraine. I'm not sure where they're located. We have just kind of started talking about this, and there's a bunch of there was a Facebook page that we were all uploading songs to, and so we got connected with this. Don't have too many details yet, but I will share them with you in the future. Yeah,
Wonderful.
Yeah, please do.
Please
Absolutely.
do. Absolutely. And did you have something you wanted to say?
Just more of an observation. The first number is very heartfelt. I notice you have this great kind of the turnaround is this kind of great ascending melodic line, and it works really well. The second song had this kind of signature riff built in, sort of like almost kind of like a Beatles signature riff. I guess I'm curious, as part of your process, does that stuff come up just like the rest? Is it just part of the process, or is that something the kind of thing that you're particularly attracted to make a song seem complete, or both?
I can't know if I can. All I can say is the way it comes to me. Like sometimes it comes, it comes first, and then just sing a song on top of it. Other times I'll say, well, I have to add something. Like I think in that part, then when I added it just seemed like I wanted to do something fancy in there, and a little melodic, and not just have somebody noodling blues riffs or something on top. So. I like to make each song have its own particular sound. I grew up listening to the AM radio in the 60s, and every song was a different genre and a different style, and they were out of there in 2.5 minutes, that's my ideal. I think you tell your tale and get out of the way, and if people like it enough, they'll play it again,
Perfect.
Yeah, a concise song is a tough thing to do. It really is,
Yeah.
and you do well with it. So.
Absolutely. And Hank, we like it.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. We'll
I'm
listen
glad
to
you
it.
keep having me back. It's great. I appreciate this place, and
Well, thank
love
you
to
so
hear everybody else too. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks so
Hank.
much. Let's toss this back to Evan.
Thank you, Rob and Penny. So, Hank, actually, before you disappear, I have to say, for those of you that are listening, I really dig it when somebody can throw in so much lead over the top of their own song. Like that means that you're hearing the rhythm and everything yourself, and you're still playing that part. That's a gift that I really hope to be able to grab someday. It's wonderful. You did it really super well. And then you mentioned in your second song, you said that it's not in the Bible, but let me tell you that Romans 11:18 says that God will bring shalom to those who honor his name, and he will destroy those who destroyed the earth. That's Romans 11:18. It's right there, brother. I'm telling you, just saying. All right. So yeah, you bet. Thank you for coming to the Open Mic America stage tonight. So our next guest is going to be Michael Arthur, and Michael is showing up from York, Pennsylvania, and his favorite local open mic is the Folk Project. It's in New Jersey. And so we're just really looking forward to what you're going to play tonight, Michael. We're glad you're on the stage. And we see your carbon fiber guitar, the wall background. You got some things going on there. Yeah, it's real for you. And so what is inside of your heart that you want to show us tonight on the Open Mic America stage?
Well, I'm just hoping I can get through this because I'm suffering some severe acid reflux right now. But my songwriting process is usually long and painful. But this song I wrote in one day, and that was the day that Russia invaded the Ukraine. This is called Anything You've Got. my homeland overrun. I can hear the missiles screaming in the night, rolling like thunder, crumbled walls expose our plight. I will try to keep a pilot flame of love burning in my heart. When the tanks roll down your street, you gotta pick up a rock or anything you've got. Come the helicopters swooping on my city, raining down death. CNN says what a pity. There's chaos in the square, refugees on the road, an evil surging round us, tragic human toll. I will try to keep a pilot flame of human love burning in my heart. When the tanks roll down your street, you better pick up a rock or anything you got. Surrounded and outnumbered by this overwhelming foe, but we'll defend our homes, we will never go. You stay here in the shelter where it's safe, I'll be outside waiting for this bear that we must face. And I will try to keep a pilot flame of love burning in my heart. Tanks roll down your street, you gotta pick up a rock or anything you got. Anything you got. Anything you got.
Wholeheartedly.
I wrote this next song after listening to a call-in radio program one time, and people were calling in and describing their near-death experiences. And then many of them talked about their lives flashing before their eyes, and one guy said it was kind of like a feature film of his life that played backwards in his mind. And that gave rise to this song. This is called Movie in My Head. I'm making this movie, it'll play inside my head. It's to be a documentary on this life that I've led. It's premiering only screening on the day they pronounce me dead. And only one critic's review will ever matter, the rest can go unread. My life will flash before me like a movie in my head. My name's upon the marquee, it's the story of this must react to the plot as it unfolds, all the highs and lows and in-betweens. It's a part of a lifetime, laid out like a trailer for a dream. And my character develops through all my laughter, tears, and screams. My life will flash before me like a movie in my head. My name's upon the marquee. It's the story of this life I've led. Won't be about my winnings or the things I bought, not about my triumphs or the thrills that I sought. More about what I've learned than what I have taught, and all about the love I have brought. All about the love that I have brought. The hero or the villain, you know it's up to me. You see, all the pages of my script are blank, and all my choices are free. And don't bother even asking, no, 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 there are no guarantees. But when the final credits roll, I hope to thank the Academy. My life will flash before me like a movie in my head. My name's upon the marquee. It's the story of this life I've led.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Hey there, bravo.
Thank
Those
you.
are fantastic songs.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, I've got a couple of questions for you. More a couple of comments, and then pose into a question. I mean, clearly you've paid your dues. Those are well constructed, well sung, well written songs. But aside from that, you've done a lot of work getting your sound together, because that guitar sound is really tight between the tuning, the way you're playing it, and whatever you're using to produce it is really good, very top notch. From just from a guitar geek standpoint, what are you doing there? I mean, clearly a lot of it's in your hands and in your head, but there's some equipment happening too that's really making that shine.
Yeah, well, during the beginning of the pandemic, I bought a new Mac, an iMac computer, and this Universal Audio
Yep.
Apollo interface, and a bunch of plugins, and through the downtime of being isolated, just learned how to use the plugins, and so when I do a Zoom thing now, I basically just run through that front end of the digital audio interface, and use those plugins, the reverbs and compressors and EQs and so forth. So have it kind of dialed in, and I can just go back to it at every new Zoom meeting and call that up. So
Yeah, yeah, I know that equipment well. I've got one sitting right next to this computer too. You clearly have mastered it well, and but I imagine a lot of that sound probably travels with you when you're playing live too.
yeah, this particular the software and stuff I don't use live, but I have some other things that I've kind of dialed in hardware wise to. What I'm always really focused on is trying to get a good guitar sound, because if I have that, it inspires my singing more.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't have that. Everything, is not on keel for me as it would be. So I try to concentrate on that, and it's a never-ending process. It really is.
Yeah, really cool. One of these days, I'd love to pick your brain about some of those interfaces, but I think Penny's got something for you too. Otherwise, we're going to spend all day talking about equipment.
Yeah, well, I know certain people like to talk about guitars. So, Michael, we looked at all the performers' websites before coming on tonight, and one thing I noticed is that you had said making a connection with the audience, and when someone has listened to one of your songs and they tell you that it touched their heart, and I would tell you now the two songs that you did, very thoughtful, very heartfelt. So thank you for doing those. But if you would talk a little bit about that, and maybe if you have some gigs coming up that you're especially excited about, that would be great for our audience to learn.
Yeah, yeah. My philosophy on songwriting is to convey emotions, whatever emotion happens to be involved in some scenario that I'm writing about. But to me, that's the heart of what I'm trying to do is to convey an emotion lyrically, vocally, and musically on the guitar. And I've found that these open tunings, allow me to give a broader stroke on bringing that emotion to light from the guitar. So I use a lot of open tunings in my writing. And I do have a really cool gig coming up.
Nice. Tell us.
Yeah, Bet and I are involved with the folk project in New Jersey, kind of remotely, because we are involved in their Monday night song circle. But I've played a few gigs there over, one right before the pandemic. So they've invited me back for a live concert, which will also be streamed, and I'll be opening for Tracy Grammer, who is one of my favorite touring vocalists. So
Ah,
Excellent.
nice. That's fantastic. That's kind
looking
of
forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. That sounds wonderful. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And do you have anything else that you would like to tell us about your music, your inspiration, other than what you mentioned at the start of your set?
Well, inspiration, there's so many things that can be written about, but for me to even start the song, which usually starts with a guitar motif of some type, which evokes an emotion, and then that emotion may connect to something in the news, something in my own life that I'm going through, something that a friend or family member is going through, and then that starts the process for me in songwriting. And usually it's a pretty long and laborious process. I'm quite a self-perfectionist, I think, but as I said, this first song about Ukraine and Hank have something in common there. It certainly touched our hearts that these people are going through this terrible thing. And that one, just the inspiration came all at once. And within a few hours, that song was written. And actually, Bet and I were involved in a Ukrainian fundraiser last week with the Folk Project of New Jersey, and we each played, and several other folks played. Some were live on the scene. We both played virtually, and it was a Facebook Live event. So, and we raised $2,500 for the.
Nice.
Good for you.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, it was an absolute pleasure listening to your songs
Yeah,
tonight,
delightful,
Michael.
man. Absolutely.
Thank you, and
And
enjoy that show.
yeah, I will.
Good, good.
All right, and let's go back with Evan. He's going to wrap it up for us tonight.
Yeah, really, thank you so much for that, Michael. It was truly amazing. And I'll share with you after the show a little bit about what the final song that you performed tonight did for me. And it was quite significant. I look forward to sharing that moment with you. And so, I didn't mention to everybody that Michael was going to be the last performance tonight on Open Mic America. We're really glad that you all tuned in. And so let's thank our performers. Everybody, as I mentioned, you go ahead and wave. We thank Neil Dell from Bedford, Massachusetts, Bet Paget from Raleigh, North Carolina, Bill Palmer from Murray, Kentucky, Steve Johnson from Oak Grove, Oregon, Gail Dreyfus from Mariposa. Home Tonight is the band, and Hank Stone from East Patchogue. You said it right. And
Patchogue.
Michael, exactly, that's right. Thank you. And Michael Arthur from York, Pennsylvania. So you guys really brought it tonight. It's such a pleasure to be a part of this team and to hear the kind of music that the team is bringing to America. And speaking of America, we're really glad that you all tuned in tonight. You mean everything to us. We would be just people playing songs to each other if you weren't watching tonight. You really mean a lot to us. We appreciate you more than you know. So remember to check our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all Open Mic America performers. You can find archives of all of our shows right from the beginning. Watching Capo Day performing in the early days really was one of the pluses of my finding the archives personally. We want to thank our hosts who are working tirelessly behind the scenes to make this all possible. We definitely want to recognize and say thank you to team members Penny and Rob Cork, to Open Mic America team member extraordinaire Alice Osborne. She is the Oz behind the scenes engineering today's broadcast, and I have been your MC. My name is Evan Acey. So thank you again for watching us here on YouTube. If you like this show, spread the word. We don't want to keep it a secret. We want everybody in the world to know that they can tune in on a Sunday afternoon and hear some of the best in the world singing and writing all the things that mean so much to us. You can even download and print your own posters, if you didn't know, from our website and hang them somewhere where folks can see them. You can even get a t-shirt through openmicamerica.com. Please check out your local virtual open mics. We've listed the ones where our performers play under the local open mics tab on the website. Our next show is February 5th, 2023, and Laura Bordowitz is going to be our MC. Rich Basler is going to be the interviewer. Stay tuned for the next full lineup. Good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.